Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Ijeoma Kola and this is an office hours video. This is my second time doing office hours, which essentially means that I just kind of sit down and chat and catch y'all up with various things happening in my life. And it's called office hours because I currently teach in a university. I'm currently a postdoctoral research fellow, and that means that I do my own research, but it also means that I teach a class and I do hold office hours for my class for undergraduates. So a couple of my followers thought that it would be cool to kind of call these catch-up update videos office hours. On top of that, if it's your first time here on my channel, on top of teaching and research, I also run a nonprofit and also create content online around lifestyle, motherhood, entrepreneurship, living your very best life in a joyful manner. So in this office hours, I want to chat about 3 different things that have been on my mind lately. They are playing the comparison game, weight loss, as well as financial planning. So let me start with the comparison game. So I think one of the most under discussed aspects about being like a digital influencer or a digital content creator is that a good chunk of people in our industry like to share how much they make from creating content online. And that happens for a couple of reasons. One is for an inspirational reason, you know, just to really celebrate the fact that they have been able to create an independent lifestyle. You know, maybe they were working a 9-to-5 and they left that job, and like now they are not only making more money, but really being able to control their time and their finances in a different way, which is really, really awesome. On the second hand, some people like to share how much they make because part of their income stream is like telling other people how to make money, and so they kind of have to show the proof in the pudding, if you will, and demonstrate how much revenue they're bringing in to convince other people that they are an authority in terms of how to make money online, right? And so all that aside, one thing that's like not really talked about a lot is like there are only so many of us, especially in the Black blogging community. There are only so many of us. Like in the grand scheme of things, there are maybe hundreds of thousands of people who, you know, consider themselves to be influencers, but like Black female influencers, there aren't like that many people. And so oftentimes there will be a campaign that will be sent to, in my inbox, that will be sent to several other Black people's inboxes, you know, because brands are trying to, you know, have diversity in their campaigns. And then sometimes I get the campaign and sometimes somebody else gets the campaign. And so one of the things that I've really been wrestling with lately is, you know, this idea that there's something that I really wanted to work on and then a brand ends up going in a different direction. And then I see like one of my homies posting about it. I'm like, you know what, girl, like I'm happy it was you and not somebody else, but still like, damn, like I wish that had been my campaign. So that's kind of just something that has been on my mind lately, and it's not coming from a place of, it's weird because it's like not necessarily coming from a place of envy, but it does kind of make you think about, okay, well, why did the brand go with another person? Is it like their rates were different, or their manager was negotiating differently, or, you know, like what was it about them that, you know, they were chosen over me? And so that's something that I've just been struggling with lately. This happened on 2 specific occasions with different people where I was like in long negotiations with a company and our negotiations fell through, and then they ended up working with someone else. Maybe the goal was to work with both of us, and then for some reason they chose not that person, but like a completely different other person instead of me. But I just feel like that's something that I've been wrestling with, and I try to remind myself about the fact that everyone is on their own different race. Like everyone is running and walking their own different life journey, and it's hard to remember that. Rather, it's easy to forget that. It's hard to remember that. And so even when I don't get opportunities, I remind myself like that just means it wasn't for me. It just means it wasn't for me. Whether it is a business opportunity, a professional opportunity, applying for things for cohort sisters, we have applied for so many grants and not received any of them. And it can be easy to kind of internalize that info and internalize those kind of outcomes, but you just have to remember that it just means that it wasn't for you. It has nothing to do with you. It wasn't the right fit, and God didn't want it for you. And that's okay, but it's just kind of hard to remember that in the moment where you're like, damn, well, I wanted that, you know? So that's something that I've been kind of struggling with right now. The second thing I want to talk about is weight and body image. So I have really been struggling with my body image lately. I feel like I was doing pretty well postpartum. I had like lost the baby weight pretty quickly. I had started to try and be more active. I did WW last year, which I do think helped me in terms of like relearning how to like eat and move my body. But then with the whole move, I just have not been moving my body as much as I used to before. And on top of that, I've been having some knee pain. I had ACL reconstructive surgery like when I was in high school, and that was a good like 15 years ago now. And so I was told back then that after some time, it might start weakening again. Your knee might start weakening. And so I'm going to start physical therapy. Oh my gosh, thank God for health insurance. I'm going to start physical therapy soon, but I don't want to like strain my knee by working out because I know that it's going to hurt me. And I did that like in June. I had tried to do the Chloe Ting shred thing. I did like 2 days and my knee was killing me. It is a lot of jumping in that routine. My knee hurt a lot. And so I think that really put me off from like being motivated or encouraged to exercise because I don't want my knee to be in pain. I want to be able to walk. I need to go to work. I need to play with my child. I want to play with my child and I don't want my like knee to seize up. So that combined with just the busyness of moving and oh my gosh, like furnishing so many places and starting a new job and like getting to know a new city, all of those things have made working out much less of a priority as it should have been. However, I had my physical yesterday, the first physical since I had the baby, who's no longer a baby, he's a full toddler now. And so I knew that I had gained weight. I knew that I didn't like how I felt and looked in my clothing, but I thought it was like 10 pounds and it was like closer to 18 pounds. And so I am now trying to figure out like what to do and how to go about doing it. I'm hoping that by doing physical therapy, my knee will feel stronger and I'll be more confident to do exercise. I have been walking here and there. I've been doing a lot of housework. And so that is, I feel like my heart rate is good. Like I've been keeping myself active, but in terms of just like creating a calorie deficit so that you lose weight, I definitely have not been doing. So that's something that's kind of like been on my mind. But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, like, why am I subscribing to society's ideas of like what an ideal body is? But I'm officially in the overweight like category in BMI. But then BMI itself was also like created in a way that was not built for Black bodies and like Black bone density. So not that it's racist, but it didn't really account for racial differences in bone density. So clearly I'm very conflicted as to like how much time I want to invest in working out. But you know, I want to be healthy for my son, for my family. I want to be able to be here, not just be here physically, but to also be active with him. Like he's so fast, he runs around so much, and I want to be able to keep up with him and play with him. And so, you know, if nothing else, that plus I like to look cute in my clothes and I'm not trying to buy a whole new set of clothing. So I gotta fit in the ones that I've got now. Those are the two reasons that I am motivated to kind of get it back together and start exercising. I do eat really well. I don't really eat sweets that much. I, you know, drink alcohol like maybe once or twice a week. So I feel like my food intake is good. It's just that like kind of like lack of activity. And the last thing I wanted to chat about, I feel like I've been rambling, but the last thing I wanted to talk about was, financial planning. So oh my gosh, we had delayed or got an extension to file our taxes because my son didn't yet have a social security number. He was born outside of America, and so he had to first get a US passport and then was able to get a US social security number. But I needed to get his social security number because I needed to get them child tax credits that they were handing out this year. But eventually like, we finally got his social security number like now that we're here, and I was able to file taxes. And in doing so, I was like, there's no way that I should be paying this much in taxes. So I started to do a little bit of research and realized, and if anyone has an LLC, like this, tune your ears in, because this is like was mind-blowing. So apparently if you're an LLC, a lot of your taxation basically, if you're an LLC that's a sole proprietor, the government really isn't recognizing your LLC as a separate business. So they are just taxing you on like all of the income that you make from that LLC is really considered your personal income. And then you are taxed based on that full value, you know, minus like expenses and whatnot. But what I've learned is that if you change your LLC's tax designation to be taxed as an S Corp, and the tax rate for S Corps are lower, and then essentially you won't be double taxed. So if, as an LLC, you're double taxed for income tax, you're also double taxed for like self-employment tax, whereas if you are just paying yourself out of an S Corp, it's like corporate tax, and then you're taxed separately for income tax. So I'm not a tax expert, obviously, because I'm probably like messing stuff up, but like this realization that I could be saving thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. I literally paid $35,000 in taxes last year. Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that ridiculous? That's someone's salary. So I realized that I could be saving a whole lot of money on taxes. And so I actually decided to invest in a tax planner, a financial advisor, who I am really excited to start working with because, you know, again, this is not my area of expertise. I'm sure there's a lot of other things I don't know. My parents have been kind of trying to tell me over time, since they're also entrepreneurs, like, hey, you know, put some money in like this Roth IRA so that you owe the government less, and do this and do this. And so I feel like they kind of have it sorted out and figured out how it works best for them, but I definitely need someone to help me figure out how it works best for me. I am really excited to save, because there's no way I'm giving the US government $30,000 next year. Zero way. Because there are people out here paying $0 in taxes and they got millions and millions of dollars, and I'm over here paying all my money. So no, we gotta figure that out. So that's kind of like all of the things that have been on my mind the past couple of weeks. I'm so excited that my husband and my son are back here. We're all together. It's so important for, I think it just made me feel like it's so important for families to be together and to stay together as much as possible. I really do think it's best for kids if they are, you know, with two parents who love them. Obviously that can't happen all the time, but it's just so precious when my son is like, daddy, mommy, he's running back and forth between the two of us, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be. So I am really happy that we're all together right now. And that's kind of what's going on in my life. That is my office hours chit chat. Yeah, I have to go and get to do a Cohort Sisters interview. But before I leave you, I wanted to share a couple of beauty-ish updates going on. So right now I am wearing Fenty Pro Filter powder foundation. I have never been a powder foundation kind of person, but now that my skin is just like really thriving, I wanted to kind of switch to powder foundation, because liquid foundation, no one has time to be like setting, and I'm trying to be out the door, right? And so I experimented with this powder foundation. Love it so far. I'm the shade 385, so that's pretty new. And then these earrings, which hopefully you can see, these like Africa earrings, are by Maryland Allure. I think it's Allure. I'll tag it in the description box. It's a Black-owned company, and they're on the heavier side. So if you're not used to wearing big earrings, they might be a little heavy for you, but I really like them. So yeah, and then this wallpaper that I've been asked about several times, I got this on Etsy. I'll also tag this in the description box. And this chair is also Black-owned. This is from Albany Park, and I will share that as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this office hours chit chat, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.